welcome. First things first, I'm Brittany Gonzalez-Lutz.
I'm Lezl Gonzalez.
And we're friends, we're family, and we decided to kind of just start this channel because we're new-ish moms. She's a 2-year-old, I have a 6-month-old, and the conversations we have and the tearful phone calls and voice notes we've shared, more me than her, we figured why not sit down and record these conversations because we can't be the only moms who are going through these things. So we're going to get into different topics each week. Some of them a little heavier, some are just super fun. But first things first, Lezl, why don't you share how we know each other? How are we in each other's lives?
So you might notice that we both have Gonzalez in our names. I am married to Brittany's brother. He is the best.
Shout out Ian.
He's also producing this.
He's behind the camera.
We've been married for 5 years, a little over 5 years, and we have been together almost 12, which is crazy.
So crazy, but amazing.
It's been great. It has been the greatest.
It gets better, right? Tell everyone. It gets better with
so
time.
Much better.
I'm like, tell everyone. But it does. I feel like you guys just get more and more beautiful and happy.
Yes.
Every year.
It's the best. The more you can grow and mature with each other, the better. But this isn't a marriage show today.
Back to motherhood.
We have a 2-year-old, Zachariah Anthony Gonzalez. And he is such a joy. He is very busy. He takes up...
He's a boy's boy.
He is a boy's boy. Insert photo here. The absolute cutest.
Yeah.
We absolutely have enjoyed our journey, and it has been a little over 2 years, like I said, and there has been a lot of
stuff. Like, what else stuff.
I wanted to use a different word than stuff, but it's just
mom
stuff.
brain. That's all I can come up with right now.
Stuff is the best way to describe it. But it has been so much fun having him in the family as like the first, not grandchild, but like the first.
Yeah, he was. Well, on our side, really. Well,
and on our side.
Yeah, so he was the first grandchild.
Like baby that all of us have been around.
Yeah.
And
I love him so much.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, if you're watching this in 20 years.
I know. No, he's been amazing. And I mean, he's my nephew. And I love him. So I've been married since 2017. Shoot, now I have to do math. So
almost 4?
Almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years this November. So 4 years. We have a 6-month-old little girl named Ashton and love her so much. But Zachariah, like you said, was the first baby in the family.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing my friends talk about being aunts or uncles even, but aunts and like how special that is. And I'm like, oh, cool. But I didn't really know until you're there. And then all of a sudden he came and I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels like it's my child, which is so funny because he's so not. But I'm like, I love him like he's my own. And yeah, like our journey to get to have our little Ashton love right now. We actually lost our first daughter when I was almost 7 months pregnant. And so I say all that to say that Zachariah, there were people who reached out to me and said, like, is that hard? Because he was, 6 months maybe? Or no, not even 6 months.
A little over 6 months.
A little over 6 months. So, and they were like, is that hard to be around him? And I'm like, no, actually, it is the most healing thing to see this beautiful little baby who is just like you said, he literally is like the light of our lives. And so now we get to add Ashton to the mix. So yeah, they're the best.
They
and
really
we
are.
hope to expand our families in the future.
We've got A, Ashton, to Z,
A to Z.
Zachariah. So we've got the whole alphabet.
We do. We got the whole middle. This has nothing to do with today, but do you guys have other like baby names picked out for girls and boys in the future? Like if you were to get pregnant again? Kind of.
Yes.
Because I feel like we have names. Since we met, we had baby names. But then when we got pregnant both times, it was like, this baby is none of these names. Like you could just feel that they were none of those names. So I don't know if you guys had the same.
I will say, I have names. Ian has vetoes.
You're like, I really love this. He's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Like, just for example, I love long names. I don't know how he agreed on that.
Letters?
Lots of letters, lots of syllables. I just feel like it sounds
Give
regal.
an example. It doesn't have to be
rich.
a name. It doesn't have to be a name that's like on your list if you don't want to share it. But is there an example of a name that you like that's like lengthy? Because Gonzalez is 3. Like that's already a long last name.
Like I love Genevieve.
Oh, that's really pretty.
I like it.
Would you shorten it and call Genevieve like
I like
I'm like,
Vivi.
Jenny. Okay, you guys can't see, but Ian is behind the camera like, what? Genevieve is a beautiful name.
I like Vivi.
Vivi, that's cute.
See?
Ian. Okay, well,
You guys can't see it. We're gonna get a camera on Ian at some point during this show.
we need...
Maybe not today, but...
Guys just don't get it all the time. Sorry, Ian, earmuffs. No, I'm just kidding.
Or like, I really like Nathaniel. Nathaniel sounds...
I love Nathaniel.
See?
Great name.
Guys, ladies, whoever's watching this, if you like Nathaniel, comment below.
Someone out there has a Nathaniel.
I think Nate's such a cute nickname.
Nate is so cute. Okay, real quick, sidebar. I've never met an unattractive Nate. Like in high school, Nate, Nathaniel.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan, I don't know I knew a Nathan. I'm sure they were beautiful too. But there was
Nathaniel.
a Nate. I won't say his last name in the wild event that he watches this. But there is a Nate in high school. Actually, two. Both super hot. Nate's a hot name. Not that you want to name your child a hot name, but I'm just saying.
Well, we picked Zachariah. We love the name Zachariah, but I've never met like an uncool Zach.
Zach, you can't be uncool and be, yeah. I mean, it's really, yeah, it's true. It's true.
So
I don't know. Anyway, these are the conversations that we have. And so we're like, let's just share these with the world. What would you say one of our goals is in putting these talks and these conversations and this show out there for the people?
I think while we were gathering topics from like Instagram or YouTube or just any social media, I feel like there are a lot of things that moms either know and don't talk about or
Yeah.
something happens. I mean, postpartum was like a huge thing, and it's just like nobody really talks about it, or you just don't see it, so you feel like you're so alone
Yeah.
and isolated. And I just feel like it's nice to, at least when I was pregnant and I was a brand new mom, I loved going to YouTube just to watch another adult because I had a newborn and I couldn't move. I was in so much pain, and I just wanted to watch someone and have a conversation with someone who knew what I was going through, who was in the same...
You needed some sort of interacting with someone other than your newborn.
Yes.
Which was very interesting to me because I wasn't expecting that, I feel like.
And even Ian was home for a couple of weeks, and he only worked down the street, so he came home for lunch. But as great as our husbands are, they don't know exactly what you're going through, and you can't really describe it to them. No one knows what you're going through except for another, I would feel like even new mom.
Yeah.
Because our moms love them, but they went through this over 30 years ago.
It was just a different time and things.
And they were younger.
And they were younger. Yes, by pretty much, 10 years in my case, essentially, like a decade. And that, I mean, you're different when you deliver early 20s versus early 30s, I think.
A lot. You just have
a moment of silence for everyone delivering in their 30s and 40s.
I feel like our moms have had just do it attitude. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. I'm not capable of doing it. I think they were just younger. They were younger and just had more energy because when you're in your 20s, you have more energy.
It's just true.
And your body recovers faster. Basically, there's just a lot of stuff I feel like that is either unsaid or that is talked about, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to create something, a channel where we talk about these things because we do talk about them.
Yeah.
And I feel like talking to other moms, they're just like, yes, yes, yes to everything that we've talked about.
And
with
some
each other.
people are not great at this is how I used to be. You're not great at putting feelings to words.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you feeling? I don't know. And also if you're a new mom or have a toddler or anything, you're exhausted so much that you're like, even if I had the words, I don't have the energy to say them.
Yeah.
So it really is one of those things where when you can connect with someone and fill in each other's, like, I don't want to say fill in each other's holes, but like, it's kind of like, this is as far as I can get. And then you volley something back to me and I'm like, yes, that's exactly. And then I say something and it's just, it really is kind of like a dialogue and a conversation. Even if it is a YouTube video or a podcast or something, you're like, oh, someone understands.
As a mom, you just want someone to validate your feelings.
Wow, that is the key word I feel like of motherhood, validation. And it's not that it's not like, it's not worth it unless I'm validated. That's not it. But there is something so nice and so powerful when someone's like, hey, I just want to validate the exhaustion that you're feeling or validate those tears because there's a lot of people who don't understand it, whether it was a long time ago or your husband who doesn't have the same hormones. And then all of a sudden it's like, why are you crying again? Are you okay? And you're like, I don't know. It's just a lot.
You're pooping on the toilet and crying because you can't poop. This is what we talk about.
Yes. So anyways, all that to say that this is hopefully going to be a great and a safe place. Hopefully you will laugh with us. You might cry with us a little bit because we are going to talk about things that are hard and painful. But I mean, I think our hope and our prayer is that at the end, as soon as the video is done, you're like, I feel a little more seen, a little more heard, a little more validated, and like
a little less lonely.
And like you're not alone in this crazy, wild journey that is motherhood. Before we sign off of this little welcome video, should we do one of the segments we want to do each week, just to remember and reflect on our week is, I don't want to say high-low, because I wouldn't say it's necessarily, I feel like low is kind of a negative.
Yeah.
So you said peaks and valleys,
yes.
and I like that because valleys are still beautiful, even though you're in them. If you see a valley from the top, you're like, I see the beauty in that. So is there a peak and a valley from your last week?
Let's see.
Of being Zachariah's mother, or even just in life.
I will say this week has been kind of a dream week.
Really?
It's been pretty.
Wow.
It's been pretty good.
Like in what way?
There weren't really any.
Just smooth, just a rhythm.
Yeah, like
just flowing.
There wasn't a real valley, I feel like, thus far. But I guess I'll start with the valley.
Okay.
The valley this week is that I came home. I don't remember where I was. Maybe I was with you. I was with you. Okay. And I came home and Ian informed me that my facial oil, my brand new facial oil, had been mostly dumped out. And I was very sad because it's my favorite. But I didn't pay for it, so I can't really be upset.
But you can be disappointed.
I could be disappointed.
You can be disappointed.
It was just like, no, because I don't know if I can get another one.
I was going to say, it's inconvenient.
It is inconvenient.
You get caught off guard, and those are kind of tough to handle.
But it's also like he's getting taller, so I should have known to move it further away.
You're like learning lesson all around.
Like, I should have screwed the cap on. I should have pushed it further out of his reach. There were things I could have done. It was just like, well, this sucks.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Your valley? And then we can go on to peaks.
Yeah. So, well, my valley it's kind of like a valley and a peak, but it truly was, it left a lasting impression, we'll just say. But I don't know about you guys. I try to follow Ashton's wake windows. She's now 6 months, so now I'm kind of getting her more in a schedule, and she seems to be thriving, so that's exciting. But it was like, if you look at the world of wake windows, she was far past it. She like needed to go down for a nap, and she's starting to get a little fussy. So I'm like, okay, and I think we were out. So it was one of those things where you weren't in your home in that like normal environment where you can just go lay her in the crib or put her on. It was like, finally we got home, let's go take a nap. Lay her in there. She kind of fussed a little bit, but not cried. And I was like, okay, great. She goes quiet, and I'm like, amazing, because I was putting her clothes away while she was kind of fussy. Oh. And then I look over, and she's like, I'm like, oh, amazing. So I'm like tiptoeing out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, like, I love you. I'll see you later. And then right as I go to shut the door, she like, ugh! And I turn around like, is that in your sleep? Are you okay? And she is on her tummy, and she rolls over and smiles, and she has exploded up her front. And I was like, oh no, you can't let him sleep like that, obviously. So now I'm like, oh, we're going on like, you've been awake for too long, you're tired, and now I have to change you. And so then I had to change everything. Sleep sack, clothes, diaper, mattress pad, fitted sheet, the whole nine.
So we're fully awake at this point.
We're fully awake at this point. I had to put her in the tub. It was that bad. It got to her arms. Like, how do these things happen? It's like they float places. But all that to be said, that was kind of like the valley, because I just did not allot for that time to do all that. But it was also a peak, because just a few weeks ago she was having such bad constipation that you remember, I was like in tears, like voice noting her, like, I don't know what to do. And just, yeah, it was a struggle. So it was so inconvenient, and it was such a valley in a way, but it was also a peak, because I'm like, well, on the other end, she's pooping. You're pooping. And that is a success in my book. So yeah, that mine's kind of wrapped into one. What was your peak?
I guess the peak, like I said, it's because it's been such a great week. There wasn't anything that like,
so you've had like a
stood
consistent
out.
Mountaintop week.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's a toddler, so there are like moments, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like, okay, like this is like a low and like this is a high. This has been like, if every week could be like this, like I could have 6.
Yeah.
I will not have 6, but I could.
Yeah,
If
I
every week-
feel that. I feel that. There's some weeks when I'm like, oh, I could just, if I were younger and if my body would let me, I would have a ton.
Yeah.
But then there's that one valley moment. I'm like,
You're like,
oh my gosh,
nope.
what if you had to change like 4 blowouts at the same time?
Oh, no.
No, I can't. I don't think I can do it. Anyone out there who's doing that, more power to you.
But I guess it was just something that made me laugh. We were coming home from dinner or lunch or something, and I said something, and everything I said, Zachariah was mocking me. But like he's in a phase right now where he's repeating everything, but then he also repeats it in like your voice with the inflections and everything.
That's funny.
So I think it was after church, and we were in the car, and I said something, and he was like, ooh, in his voice, and I said something again, and he did it again, and I'm just like, is he straight up like trolling?
Do I have a
right
shadow? What's going on? An echo? That's so
But
cute.
it was very cute because he is the older he gets, the more of a personality he gets,
Yeah.
and so it's just fun to see those moments happen.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of my peak.
I love
the
that. Hey, it is a good week if you're like, I don't know what the best thing was
Yeah.
because it was all so great. That is a dream week. Yeah. Let's pray that this isn't like an anomaly week. This is like what you're entering into. This next chapter is just going to be like smooth sailing. We'll see when we check back in next week. Hopefully we'll be on week 2 of being
Great.
on a peak.
Great sleep.
Yeah.
Great naps. Great everything.
The
great
dreams,
attitude.
The dreams. Oh, I love it so much. All right. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to our channel. And we hope that you enjoyed this little welcome video. We will be back with another video with a very specific topic. Do you know what our next topic is, or first topic we want to talk about is?
I think I do.
Okay, cool. Well, she knows, so she's going to tell me and we're going to figure this out. So
Also, if you have any topics or anything you would like us to talk about, or even if you would like to know about us,
totally
leave them in the comments because we currently don't have any lack of topics to talk about. I don't think anything in motherhood
it just
is lacking.
Yeah.
But if there's something specific that you want to hear, let us know. We'll try and hit those videos early or hit those topics earlier so that way you're not left hanging for weeks and weeks or years. Who knows how long this is going to go
Let
on
us
for.
know what you would like to hear our experience on, because that's really what we're doing, just sharing our experience and hoping that it encourages you in the end. So yeah,
Like, comment, subscribe.
all the things. We'll see
Share.
you guys next week. We'll see you guys next week. Are you okay?